Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much for your time. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great too. Can you please tell me your name and your country?
My name is Rebecca, and I'm from Canada.
Canada. Nice. So have you been doing a lot of sightseeing here in Japan?
Yes, I've kind of done a little bit of a loop around the country.
Yes? Tell me, how long have you been here?
10 or 11 days now.
10 or 11 days, a long trip.
Yes, yeah, it's worth the journey overseas.
Yeah, we're still in the Japanese summer right now. Are you okay? Because it's really hard for us here in Japan to enjoy summertime. It's so hot this year. This year's one of the hottest years.
It's very hot. Yeah, I think today was like 36. So.
You said you're from Canada, right?
Yes.
Canada's much cooler than here. So how are you dealing with that?
I'm mostly just looking for air conditioning.
Have you been able to find it most of the time?
Yeah, actually, a surprising amount of pretty much everywhere has AC, which is good.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's gonna so just find the AC and you're good to go.
Pretty much. Yeah.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that. Tell me, since you've been here and you've been to all these places, you've been there 11 days and you've kind of made a whole circle. Tell me, is there anything that so far has been interesting or surprising to you here in Japan? It can be anything, the fashion, the food, the culture, services, facilities, anything like that.
I've been surprised that everywhere is still cash.
Yes.
And cash is very popular. I never carry cash at home. I had to buy a coin purse.
Yes.
That I was expecting, as such like an advanced technology country, that everywhere would be like Apple Pay, tap, tap, tap. But it's definitely not.
Okay, that's what you're saying. So yeah, still we like a mix of both, right?
Yes,
like, new tech and then also the old tech at the same time.
Yes, but you do have like the cash counting machines, which we don't have.
Yes.
So like at 7-Eleven, you put the money in and the change comes out. That was interesting.
Yeah. All right, so the 7-Elevens, the convenience stores, all that, you enjoyed it all.
Yes.
Tell me, between the three convenience stores, which one did you prefer?
Probably 7-Eleven, just because it's a little familiar.
Yes. Did you find any kind of favorite food or anything there?
The ice cream is probably that, and some of the cream puffs are pretty good.
The cream puffs, nice.
Yeah.
So you've been here 11 days. Tell me, what made you come to Japan originally? Like, why did you want to come here?
I came because there was a direct flight, and, my city doesn't have many of those, and it's usually a journey. So yeah, I took advantage while it exists.
Yes. Tell me, was there any kind of like Japanese culture that you had known before, anything that you had previously been interested in before you came to Japan? Like, anime, food, clothes, was there anything?
Yeah, I mean, it's been what I expected in terms of things like Pokemon and One Piece, and I'm not a huge anime person, but I've grown up with like Yu-Gi-Oh! And all these types of things, so definitely seeing that incorporated more into daily life here for sure.
So previously you knew a little bit about the anime culture. Did you know anything about the shrines and the temples, anything else like that?
I knew that they existed. I didn't really know the difference between a shrine and a temple. And I didn't know how many there were. I feel like I was expecting outside of Tokyo to be a little bit more rural than it is. But a lot of the cities I visited have been cities for sure. I think I was expecting temples to exist more in like a grassland capacity, and they're definitely integrated into cities more than I expected.
Right, it's kind of interesting how it's like right in the middle of the city is a temple, right? Or a shrine.
Yeah.
Tell me, what cities did you visit?
We've done Tokyo and Kyoto and Osaka and Hiroshima and Takayama and Miyajima.
Wow, so you've been everywhere, right?
We've done a good mix.
Okay, tell me, what was the highlight?
I think Miyajima was my favorite day, yeah.
Tell me more about that. Why was it?
The deer is just kind of cool to have them around, but it was also a beach town, so I grew up by the ocean and kind of prefer the ocean vibes, I think, to the inland, and
so having that kind of energy around you and stuff just really just made you feel at home and relax a little bit. Really cool.
Exactly.
Did you take any cool pictures or anything while you were there?
Yes, I got a couple good shots of the deer doing various deer activities.
Did you get a selfie with the deer or anything like that?
Yes, lots of selfies with the deer.
Would you mind sharing that with us?
Sure.
Yeah. Please. If you have it right now. Do you have it now?
I do, yeah. Let's see.
We'd love to see that.
I do. Let's see, I favorited it for sure. Best one.
Oh, nice. Look at this. This is a really good one. That's you with the deer.
The deer
Nice.
found a drink as well.
Perfect selfie. The deer has a drink.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
You had a real Miyajima experience right there.
Yeah, indeed. They are everywhere and they
Yeah.
like everything.
Was it your first time to be in contact with that many deer like that at one time?
Yes, yeah. The ones at home don't interact with people and
Mhm.
you keep your distance for sure. They
Yeah.
they are very wild. These ones
Yes.
were almost domesticated
Right.
to the city.
Almost pets, but not really, right?
Yeah, they were very dog-like. Yeah.
Speaking of back home, tell me, was there anything about Japan that feels different from your home country? Anything different from Canada that you really noticed that was like, I don't know, maybe a culture shock or just, oh wow, it's very different? I know you mentioned the money, but was there anything else?
Yeah, the way the buildings seem to kind of be stacked on top of each other,
Mhm.
it's very dense.
Mhm.
I feel like I wouldn't know how to find most of the things that we've done in Japan
Yeah,
because they're all kind of tucked away and everything's on
Yes.
different floors.
yes.
I feel like at home, if something's on a different floor, it's like made very obvious that
Yeah.
how to get there.
Right.
And here you kind of have to search for certain things
Yeah.
a little bit more.
Yeah. But it seems like you were able to get through it all and you made it to the end of the
Mhm.
trip, so
Yes.
you found your way,
Yeah.
right? Tell me, is there anything that you think was like one of these memories you want to keep from the trip so far? Was there anything that you felt like that memory I'd love to share with my friends and family back home? I never want to forget this thing. Anything else? Did anything happen like that to you while you were here?
I really liked the sunset in Miyajima.
Okay.
I thought it was very beautiful. I took a lot of pictures.
Did you?
Yeah.
What was different about that sunset from other sunsets?
Well, the way the tide goes out and there's so many people kind of out exploring, and it had just shifted so much from earlier in the day. It was a really nice contrast and
Yeah.
kind of felt like the sun was setting on the day.
Yeah.
Which was a nice trip.
Yeah, it's real beautiful, right? I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, now thinking about your home back home in Canada, and thinking about Japan, is there anything you would like to take from Japan and then bring it back to Canada? It can be anything. For example, the air, the food, the transportation, like anything.
Probably the transit. Yeah,
Okay, tell me
we've
about
had a lot of issues getting even a second train line installed in my city.
Yes.
It just really goes one way. But here, pretty much anywhere you want to go, there's, yeah, like today we went to the aquarium and it was like go one stop, get on a different train, and you're at the aquarium.
Yes.
And so it's all so interconnected, and every stop you stop at,
Yeah.
the train announces you can change here for this line or
Yes.
this line.
Yes.
So it's definitely like a really thorough network here, which we don't have.
Yeah, okay. What is it like in Canada? How is it like very like you need a car?
Yeah, for the most part. I live in the downtown core, so I could do without one. But even getting to like the hospital I work at would
Yeah.
be a little bit difficult using buses and that kind of stuff.
Okay. All right, cool. So tell me, would you like to visit Japan again?
Yeah, I would come
Yeah.
back for sure.
You coming back soon, or is it going to be a while? How do you feel?
It'll probably be a while just because it's so far.
Mhm.
I want to do Vietnam and Cambodia
Okay.
if I'm coming over this
Yes.
vicinity,
Yes.
probably the next time.
It sounds right.
But there's just so much to see and so much to do, so I'll probably come back eventually.
Okay.
But other places in between.
Okay. Tell me, this is your first time in Japan, right?
hmm
If you can talk to your friends and family back home in Canada and give some advice on traveling to Japan, what advice would you give them?
I would say the parts I've enjoyed the most have been kind of getting out of the city.
Okay.
So some of the things that are recommended is the day trips. I feel like before coming, I would have looked at it and been like, is it worth an hour on a train just to go for a day and come back? But having done it, I think the days I enjoyed the most were the ones where I got off the beaten path a little bit
Mhm.
more.
Okay. So your advice is to get off the beaten path, find
Yeah,
some day trips, get out the city.
get out of the city.
Okay. That's some great advice. I have something. I'd like you to try something. You can put your phone away. So I
Okay.
can hold it for you. So I'm gonna pass this to you. Here you are. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Take a look at the package. This is called Happy Fun. Happy Fun.
Okay.
What do you, looking at it, what do you imagine? What do you think it's gonna taste like?
Bread?
Okay, what kind of bread you imagine?
It looks Yeah, kind of like a plain corn chip of some kind.
Wouldn't take one out. All right, now seeing it, what do you think?
It kind of feels like styrofoam.
Styrofoam. All right, let's go ahead and try it. Can you go ahead and open it up and try it for me? I'd love to hear what you think about it.
Oh no.
It's a very popular Japanese kind of treat. Kids love to have it. Adults have it.
It feels like it's covered in salt.
Okay, go ahead.
I feel like I've had this before.
Have you?
No, I don't think I've had this, but it's a familiar flavor almost. But I can't place it. It's good.
Yeah?
I think it might be styrofoam, but I would eat it.
As long as you enjoy it, that's great to hear. Well, Becca, it was a pleasure to meet you today. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.